If any of these allegations are true and it comes out, I swear to God, bro, I feel bad for guys like Cena and Orton.
Sure.
Like I really do. Like, my God, bro. Like it breaks my heart.
Level for success.
Yeah. It breaks my heart when you think a guy, you think somebody you look up to is one way.
Yep.
And all of a sudden, my God, bro, that sucks.
Let's talk about John Cena. Shared his thoughts on the Howard Stern show about Vince. This is what he said. He said, right now, what I'm going to do is love the person I love, to be their friend. There's a saying, you don't know who your friends are until S happens, hits the fan, or your back is against the wall. That doesn't make any of what's going on any easier to swallow, but just telling someone, hey, I love you. Man, this is going to be a hill to climb. We're going to see what happens. It sounds so cliche, but it has to be one day at a time. At the same token, I've openly said I love the guy. I have a great relationship with the guy. So that's that. This is what Randy Orton said. I've got to say this. I wouldn't be where I am without Vince McMahon taking a chance on me a handful of times. I would not be where I am today without Vince McMahon, but I'm reading this S. With what you've seen and read, I've seen and read. As far as commenting on that, it effing hurts my heart. It hurts my heart. Vince Russo, your thoughts on the remarks of John Cena and Randy Orton when it comes to Vince McMahon?
I just, Chris, listen, because I'm reading Cena's comments and I'm like, bro, he is going to get hammered for this, right? And Chris, listen, man, EC3, like, bro, all three of us, like, we're Christian guys, and you're supposed to love thy enemy. I mean, so in this case, regardless of Vince, of what he's accused of or whatever, you somehow, some way, you're supposed to be able to show love. I just wish, if I knew Cena was going to get killed for this. There's no way he's not going to get killed for this. I just wish he would have said, bro, you can love him. And he, same thing with Orton, bro. He could have, made your career this, that, and the other thing. But man, if it's me, I'm going to say all that. But I'm also going to say, but if he's found guilty of these charges, then he's gonna at least say that he's gonna have to take full response. At least say something like that. I mean, to just come out, I love the guy, like, regardless of everything I'm reading about him, everything he may have done, I still love the guy. I understand that, but I just wish they would have said something like, if he is found guilty, that's all. I'd love to know what EC3 thinks, because EC3 knows Cena. So
yeah, I know them both and Cena quite well. And I mean, to them, that is a father figure. Like, to them, that is like uberly super important, and the relationships were super close based on everything they did for each other. They did together. So you're gonna get hammered no matter what. Whatever you say, I think John has a lot on the line with a really public career. I remember it was on Instagram. There's this handle, Big Strong Fast. It's the Bell brothers, their strength gym in Sacramento. But they were doing an interview with Cena, and they asked him about steroids and like even TRT and doctor prescribed hormones and things like that. And he gave the most political possible answer to say it's not necessary for him. If it ever was, perhaps I would, but I haven't. I don't need to. And I remember going through the comments, and it was just destroying him. Just so, like, it's a lose-lose question and a lose-lose scenario. Like, even I commented, like, I actually know this guy. I've trained with this guy. He is, like, impeccable with his training and, like, putting his body through the absolute best. Like, I would tend to believe him in this moment. Now, I don't know for sure, but then like I got hammered for defending the guy I actually know, who I watched train with diligence and be like the most disciplined athlete short of myself. No, but like one of the most disciplined people possible. That maybe he's lying, but maybe he's not. This though, like, yeah, I think that caveat, if Vince added it, if John added something like that, would have maybe saved him some backlash. But at the same time, if your father is being skewed over the fires and you know him, or at least you think you know him, or you know a part of him, but maybe you don't know everything about him, it's probably very hard to stomach and put into words. So
let me ask you this. So Vince has been a father figure to a lot of people throughout the time in WWE. I think Vince Russo, you've even mentioned that he was to you at a point in time. So think of it from a family standpoint, and this is kind of like an all-play question here for the both of you. If your father, either one of your fathers, were arrested for, right now it's a civil offense, it's not even a criminal offense. So say, for instance, they were arrested for a civil offense that's sexual related, trafficking, so to speak. And you knew that your father was prone to act that way, as far as, yes, my father is narcissistic. He does have an issue with having a power trip. So it wouldn't surprise me that, if guilty, it wouldn't surprise me if those allegations were true. It wouldn't surprise me. From a public eye, both of y'all public figures, how would you answer a question from an interview posed to you regarding your father, and if the same situations, the same allegations were placed on them?
My, like, a father figure or my father, we are that close. We have that relationship where I think, out of respect, I would ask him personally, because knowing I'm going to have to go into public and I have a lot on the line, I'm going to be asked about this. Like, should I have your back 100%? And I think the father figure should have enough respect and honor for the person I didn't want to say groomed, but I did, groomed or brought up or gave so much to, where that father figure could be like, just say what you have to say. And like, I understand. And I think that would cause a lot of issues to go away, where you can, you cannot defend this behavior regardless of like the amount of it is true. Just assume 10% of it's true. You still can't defend it. So I think the father figure would give you the pass to say what you need to say and protect yourself. And I love you, son.
Yeah. What do you think, Vince?
Well, Chris, first of all, I think there's a huge difference between your father and a father figure. There's a huge difference because, bro, come on, let's face it, man. Your father, you literally came out of your father. So there is a real psychological, mental, you name it. There is a real bond with your father. Bro, I'm going to bring up what Vince McMahon said to me that I'll never forget. Vince, if you knew who I really was, you wouldn't like me. Well, the same goes for John Cena. I guarantee you the same goes for John Cena. If Vince is telling me, if you knew the real me, well, I promise you John Cena did not know the real him, because everything I've ever seen about Cena and read about Cena, I don't think he would like the type of person Vince McMahon would be either. So, I mean, Chris, like, bro, I've said this all along with what is going on with this whole thing, and I'm sure John Cena would agree. Bro, I hope none of this is true. Seriously, for everybody's sake, I hope none of this is true, because this is bad for so many people. Yeah. But at the end of the day, bro, if it is true, then he deserves the punishment, whatever that is. But, again, if somebody is a father figure to you, bro, you don't know what they're doing behind closed doors. You're not with that person 24/7. I mean, Cena worked for Vince. He wasn't hanging out with Vince at his house, when they weren't on the road. So there was a lot about Vince that he probably did not know.
Yeah,
I will say, go ahead, Reese. Go ahead, Reese.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that and the differential between a father and father figure. But I think the relationship's being so close that if that man who's being accused has any respect for you, he will give you the right to do what you have to do in public to protect yourself and everything you built.
I agree with that. Yep.
Yeah, I will say this, though, from a clinical perspective, there's not necessarily a huge difference between a father and a father figure when you're thinking of attachment theory. So a lot of times the father figure, what's considered a father figure, was there in replacement of the father. So when you're taking attachment theory assessments and things like that, say for instance, their father was never there, the father abandoned them, the father passed away, things like that. So a father figure can be just as strong as a father's concern. Now, when you're using the term father figure, as you're explaining it, Vince, that's someone who has the ability to have that paternal, authoritative, but highly touted respect, when it comes to that. That's father figure in quotations, but not really, though. I mean, that there's way more to that from an attachment theory standpoint to say that that's a father figure, but it's really not. To your point, Vince, you don't even know, if you really knew me behind closed doors, you wouldn't know. You wouldn't even want your father to say that. You know what I mean?
Right.
Whether you had a father figure. So
yeah.
Go ahead, EC3. You're about to say something.
No, I agree. And I was just thinking, I've had a lot of, you can call it second father too, right, Cruz?
Yep.
I don't think I would have another father figure, short of Papa Vince over there, but that Vince Russo.
Mm-hmm.
But my father's been there since day one for me every day ever. So I never had the detachment where I needed another father figure. I was just fortunate enough to have a very good group of men in certain aspects of my life become a secondary one and guide me and, build me up. And so the attachment between my father and other people that I look up to greatly is totally different. So,
yeah.
See, that's why, Chris, when you talk about father and father figure, bro, a real father is not going to let you down, bro.
Sure.
A real father is not going to let you down.
Yeah, I would even say a father figure wouldn't do that too. I think that person is there in your life to be the inspiration. Oftentimes that your father was never to you. So if that person's a father figure, they're not hiding they shouldn't at least be hiding a bunch of skeletons from you and telling you that if you really know who I was. I mean, that's destroying. Like, imagine saying that to a 13-year-old boy and you're his father figure and say, if you really know who I was, you know what I mean? Yeah, right. It don't matter if you're 13 or 50, that father figure in your life is still going to have that much weight in what he says to you. So if you view someone as a father figure and he's talking about, hey, if you really know who I was, I mean, that's piercing, man. Yeah. So we'll see
that's
where
psychotic. That's nuts.
Yeah, it really is.
Oh, man. Hey, you know what they say, guys? You don't eat where you eat.
That's what they say, man. We'll land on that.
Heavy last 25 minutes, guys.
Yes, very heavy. Yes, indeed.
Very heavy.
Lots of criminology and psychology, man. But this stuff lights me up, man. I absolutely love it. I could talk about this more than wrestling.
And I really do. I mean, just to say one more thing, bro, if any of these allegations are true and it comes out, I swear to God, bro, I feel bad for guys like Cena and Orton.
Sure.
Like, I really do. Like, my God, bro. Like, it breaks my heart.
Level for success.
Yeah.
It breaks my heart when you think you think somebody you look up to is one way.
Yep.
And all of a sudden, my God, bro, that sucks.
And it doesn't matter how old you are. You can be 50 years old, and that can destroy a man.
Yeah.
That can absolutely destroy them. When someone's a father figure to you and you realize he's so much different than what you portrayed him as far as your relationships, that is absolutely destroying to anyone. Really.
I don't want to harp on it, but like, imagine the moments you've had, like with Giants, you main event WrestleMania, you win the championship, you come back, and there's a guy, and he's just standing there giving you this. And then you hug him, and you just feel that, and it's like, man, like to have that pulled away, all those great memories.
Yeah. There was always a string attached. There was always an underlying something, like, you know, to all those memories. You know what I mean? So yeah. If the allegations are true. What'd you say, EC3?
I said, I love you, Dad. EC2.
There you go. We got EC3 in the building. We got Vince Russo in the building. I'm Dr. Chris. This is the Wrestling Outlaws. Have a good night, buddy. Solo.